Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating guide to the spiritual quest, and it's all drawn from Bahá'í sacred writings. Now, this isn't just about what you believe. It's a practical roadmap for a journey toward truth and real certainty. So, let's get into it.
So, what does it actually take to be a true seeker? I mean, it's a huge question, right? Is it about finding the perfect book, or the right teacher, or just stumbling onto the right path? Well, according to this text, the whole journey actually starts somewhere much, much closer to home.
You know, the very first step on this path, it isn't really a step at all. It's all about this deep inner preparation. The idea is, before you can even think about seeking some external truth, you have to look inward first.
And what's so interesting here is this focus on purification. The text calls the heart the seat of the revelation of the inner mysteries of God. So think about it. Before you can receive any kind of truth, you have to get the vessel ready. You have to clean it out from what it calls the obscuring dust of all acquired knowledge.
Okay, so this brings us to the real nitty-gritty, the specific things a seeker has to do to prepare. And this isn't some vague suggestion. It's a super clear three-part process for clearing out your own inner world, starting with the very things we think we know.
So here's the breakdown. First, you've got to let go of your rigid ideas and that intellectual pride we all have. Second, you purge any kind of impurity or hidden negativity. And third, you detach from what the text calls shadowy and ephemeral attachments. Basically all the fleeting desires of the material world. It's all about making space for something new and true to come in.
And this just nails the level of impartiality that's required. The source warns that being intensely in love with one thing can blind you, just as much as intensely hating something else can push you away from the truth. The real goal is to get to a state of pure openness, totally free from the distortions of our strongest emotions.
All right, so once that inner world is prepared, the focus shifts to the outer world. A seeker's daily actions, their virtues, they have to reflect this internal change. How you live your life becomes the proof of what you're looking for. And here we see the ethical framework for the whole journey. It's this amazing vision for a noble life, all built on trust, patience, and humility. And notice how practical the advice is. Avoid gossip, help people who are struggling, and show kindness not just to other people, but to all living creatures. Every single one of these is like a stepping stone on the path.
The source uses this incredibly powerful metaphor to warn against harmful speech, like backbiting and gossip. And just think about that for a second. A physical fire, it burns out eventually. But the damage from words, this fire of the tongue, it can last for generations, totally consuming both heart and soul. It's a really serious warning about just how powerful our words are.
So what happens when a seeker really does all this? When they diligently cleanse their inner world and refine how they act? Well, something profound happens. A huge transformation occurs. And this is the real turning point of the whole journey.
Through all that passionate devotion and sincere effort, a light literally gets kindled inside. And this isn't just poetic language, The text describes a very real effect. The mists of doubts and misgivings just disappear, and the lights of knowledge and certitude start to shine right through.
This is the payoff. The seeker is fundamentally changed. They don't just learn new things, they get entirely new ways of perceiving the world. It's like seeing in color for the very first time. They start to understand reality on a much, much deeper level. And with these new senses, the entire universe becomes a book of revelations. The seeker can see the signs of truth everywhere, in the tiniest particle, in everything that happens. Figuring out what's true and what's false becomes as easy and obvious as telling the difference between the sun and a shadow.
So this whole journey of transformation, it leads to a final destination. And it's described metaphorically as a city, the City of Certitude. So, what is this place, really? What kind of treasures does it hold? The way this city is described is just beautiful. It's full of these wonderful paradoxes. It's a place that satisfies the deepest longings of your soul, quenching a spiritual thirst that no amount of actual water could ever touch.
And it offers a kind of wealth that has absolutely nothing to do with money or possessions. It's the treasure of wisdom, the richness of understanding, and the gift of immortality without physical death. So yeah, this is clearly a spiritual place, not a physical one.
So, what is this city? Well, the source reveals that it's not a place you travel to, but a state you reach through divine guidance. It is the Word of God, the sacred teachings that are available to us in every single era.
For Moses, that was the Pentateuch. For Christians, the Gospel. For Muslims, the Quran. It's this timeless, divine truth, just renewed for every age.
And so, in the end, this ancient map for the spiritual seeker leaves us with a really personal question. The Source invites us to put in our highest effort, to sacrifice our drooping souls on the path of truth. And the final thought is really this: what veils of pride or prejudice or attachment might be standing in our own way, and what would it actually take to begin the journey to tear them down?